All right, welcome back to Kicking Ass 10 or Stone. Today we got Motivational Mike on the pod and co-hosts. Well, they're both co-hosts, but it just says co-host. And we got Lucas Montana back and ready to go. I'm excited.
Hello.
We actually got Lucas back in the friend group because his girlfriend went away, so now he's back. But I wanted to start off with this question that I literally just found. What do you think the biggest lie is that people tell themselves? Or what's the biggest lie that you found yourself telling yourself?
Michael, you got anything on that mind of yours?
I'm thinking too.
What would you say, Tanner?
I would probably say, the reason that made me, I thought of that is because my dad asked a question to me and my brother one night, and he asked, what's something that you guys want to do? Well, he said, like, what's on your bucket list? Like, what do you want to accomplish in your life? Like, where do you want to travel? What do you want to do? And my brother said he wanted to travel to Iceland. I think that's what he said.
Oh, that's pretty
cool.
Then
I said that I wanted to travel the world for free. And then my brother goes, that's not realistic. So I feel like a lie that I've told myself is be more realistic. Because like when we were on the podcast with Xander, Lucas, remember Xander had that whole rant about being realistic? Because everybody has a different definition of being realistic and their version of realistic. Because my brother responded to that and said, how are you going to travel the world for free? Like, think of something that's realistic. And in my mind, that's something that I feel like if I keep doing the modeling, that's something that I could accomplish, and it's something that I could do.
I feel like the biggest lie I've told myself is that I have everything under control. Which I don't have everything under control. I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like if we're going deep, we can go deep. Sometimes I just feel like I'd say like I have things under control, but then like I realize like, wow, like how much, like, think about it. All right, think about this, right? We all still live with our parents, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if we didn't live under our parents, where would you think you guys would be? On the street, right?
I feel like that if there was no other option than to be on the street and my parents they literally kicked me out of the house, I think I would find a way to live under a roof. Like maybe you guys or
like friend or like extended family.
I would work it'd be a whole different situation.
I don't know, that stuff, like it's always like so scary to me, like, because in other countries or from people I've heard or like other countries, at the ripe age of 18, they're kicked out of their house, or they're like there to fend for themselves. And then you see us, we're like, you see America or US people, or just in general, like, you know, the United States, people are like 25 or below 25 or maybe higher, still living with their parents, which is crazy. It's like you get comfortable to a certain degree that you live under your parents' house. I don't know. It's always, and you have like, at that moment, you have no control over your own life because you're dependent on other people.
That's a topic I want to touch on after Michael responds, because that's a really good topic. Like when you should move out of your house and how things are so different nowadays than they were back then. Because back then, once you're 18, you find a job, go to college, and then you move out. But nowadays, things are so expensive that it's hard to make a living for yourself, and houses went from thousands of dollars to now they're millions of dollars. So I want to touch on that after Michael gives his response.
For me, I would say the biggest lie that I've been told is that in like some areas of life, you have all the time in the world to really, I guess, think about the future. And it's a phrase that we've heard before in the past, but I feel like we really don't have that much time to really think about that stuff and to really act in the present moment. And to really give a lot of thought into the future is something that I want to do a lot more often and attack every day with the same mindset, just to get the most out of it and like the most done.
When you realize that lie, because like, what age did you get hit with the realization, like, damn, I gotta start figuring shit out?
Well, my grandfather passed away, really, because I never really saw like the day coming at all, and I just I just, if in that moment, I just realized that life is so precious and you really want to preserve it and just be there for the ones that you care about. And you really don't have as much time as you really think you do. So really that's when it hit me.
Interesting, because I always cherish everything. I remember when I first started hanging out with you guys, I was always like, for the memories. Like, we're going to remember this for so long. But time really does fly by, and you have to cherish every moment because you don't got all the time in the world. But I want to go back to what Lucas said before. I mean, Lucas, do you want to respond to Michael?
No, I totally agree with Michael on his statement. Like, we always put into, or everyone always says or puts into our heads, like, oh, you have so much time in the world. Once you finish college, you'll get a real job and then life will get started. But I feel like that's somewhat of a lie, because one thing I've heard from, I don't know if you guys know Alex Hormozy. Pretty sure I pronounced that right.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, big time, multiple figures, big famous guy. He's really good guy that gives good advice. He says, like, to get what you want, you have to put in volume. The more volume, the more you'll likely receive what you want.
What does that mean to you?
The more people you reach out to, right? Let's say you're a brand. The more people you reach out to, right? More, like you said, let's say I send 1,000 messages a day to someone. Well, not to someone, but to like other brands, to like for like a brand deal, right? For us, like I send 1,000 messages compared to 100. Who's more likely to get a response, 1,000 or 100?
1,000.
Exactly, because you're putting in more volume than the other person.
I see what you're saying. So, like, let's say you apply to 100 jobs rather than 10, you're more likely to get an opportunity.
The response, yeah. Like same with internships. If you want an internship, if you apply every day, like to 1,000, you're more likely to get a response. Say you're more likely to get a response. So I just think to what Michael was saying, like more volume. I know I kind of lost my train of thought. I went on a rant there. My bad.
You're good. But back to Lucas, I like your response. And my follow-up question to you is, why do you think it's different in other countries than it is in America? Why do you think people who are younger are more independent at a younger age in other countries, like you said, than they are in America, and they're moving out of their home?
I wouldn't say they're independent because they want to be. I feel like sometimes it's forced upon them to be independent, because in other, other countries, you can't compare to America, right? I'm saying like the opportunities that we have here compared to other countries. In other countries, you really don't have the opportunities that you would see that you have here. All right. I could give examples. I could say names. For example, this one person I know, like they were forced to come here for work to provide for their own family. Same thing with like my dad. Like there's no opportunity back then in Colombia, so he moved over here to find opportunity to like just get a better job, make more money. It's just opportunities. I think sometimes people are forced to do it, and also how they live over there. Because I feel like over here, sometimes we're kind of fed stuff to ourselves compared to other countries where you actually have to go out there and like get it done. Or it could just be a mentality thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's multiple factors that can attribute to it.
I think it's very hard to get to that level of independence where you don't need your parents' financial support anymore, because the prices just keep rising over time, especially in America. And I don't look at someone who's 24 or 25 living with their parents as a failure. If they're living at home, smoking weed and doing nothing, then that's qualities of being a failure. But at the same time, if they're out working and trying as hard as they can, then I feel like their parents could help them. But I don't know. It's very tough to say the right age to move out.
According to like, I don't know, a couple studies, blah, 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 blah. You search it up if you want. I saw that, that now like the age for people moving out, and right now has like increased compared back then to like the 1900s or somewhere around that area. Like it used to be 18. I mean, even though like the expectancy on life has also actually increased over time. So I feel like it kind of goes with it, if that makes any sense.
It's crazy. A lot of the things have increased. Like that has increased, and also, um, tell me if this is wrong, but are people having kids later, like when they're older, rather than younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Why do you think that is? That the things are increasing, like people are doing things later.
You mean like marrying later and having kids?
I guess so. I mean, I feel like people. Do people marry later? Let's look this stuff up.
Yeah.
I mean, because when
Actually,
you're
it's-
comparing these things, it's all different categories. Like I'd say you can't put like marrying with kids later with moving out of their house later, or you could tie it up.
that probably
together.
went up too.
Yeah.
All of it probably went up.
Well, obviously, but I feel like when it comes to marrying later, a lot of people have this. I think social media has a play on it too, because I remember I was on Instagram once, scrolling down, and I saw this lady saying, she's like, I'm 30 years old and I'm still going out with all these youngins. I'm like, damn, is that what you really want to be doing at the age of 30?
All right, listen to this. So, sorry to interrupt you. I'm fact checking everything. So, the marriage age back then versus now in the 1950s and 60s, men typically married at 22 years old and women typically married at 20 years old. Isn't that crazy? You guys would be
Wow.
married right now if you were,
A
if it was
woman.
back then, like basically getting married.
Mm.
And 2024, the median age at first marriage has risen to 30 years old for men and 29 years old for women. That's crazy. It went up almost 9 to 10 years.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And then for a first birth, for having kids in the 1970s, it was 21 years old for a woman to give birth. And 2021, this average increased to 27 years old.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I understand that.
Yeah. Why the shift? Educational and career priorities, economic considerations, and cultural shifts. That's what it says.
Yeah, it makes sense. I can agree with all that. I mean,
Makes sense,
when-
makes sense.
it does. I mean, let's be honest. When do you guys want kids? Like, we all want our 20s for ourselves. We all want to live our 20s like traveling or maybe with our significant others or just working on like, because everyone wants to have kids at a certain point. I say I want kids once I have like financial stability between me and my spouse.
Mhm.
I feel like that makes sense. And then I'll be able to have a kid because kids cost around like $1 million to have.
You
Not to have, like each kid is like $1 million
Overall, their whole life.
overall.
Well, it depends. I mean, what kind of life are you giving your kid? Are you putting them in a public school?
That's
Are
average.
you-
Yeah, it's average.
It's probably average.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I've heard that.
You've heard
before.
it, right? Yeah. You can search it up. You can search it up again.
Live fact checking on the
You can
Tim
fact
Storm
check
live fact checking segment.
How much is the average kid? How much does the average kid cost to raise?
On the black market. Oh, I know. it's
Yeah,
yours.
bro. Raising children in the U.S. has become a significant financial commitment. All right. Average cost to raise a child, 2025. Annual costs approximately $29,000. Total over 18 years, around $300,000, not including college expenses.
That's in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The most
so I was completely
expensive
wrong.
state is Hawaii. A year, it costs $36,472 to raise a kid. And the least expensive, Mississippi, South Carolina, or Alabama, like $17,000.
Guess we're moving to South Carolina. No, I'm joking.
I thought it would have been
I
like
thought it was-
100K to $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, guess I was wrong on that.
Yeah, wow.
Thank you
I
for the
thought it
fact
would be a
check.
lot more. I mean, I say that because I have a brother with autism, and he's very expensive because I don't know. He's not even that expensive. I'd say he's not that expensive. It's just the therapy and stuff. But the most expensive one was my brother who was a drug addict because he went to rehab. He had a lot of problems. There's a lot of payments and stuff. And I think he was the most expensive brother. But an average kid, I don't
think
know.
about it. You're a family of 3 kids?
4.
Four kids, right?
Mhm.
like that's already, like you said, 300K, right?
Mm-hmm.
Times that by 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's 1.2 mil for people who don't know.
Yeah,
how to do math.
I'd rather spend that money on myself and my significant other.
And think about it, how many kids does one want?
I don't want any. I always say this.
I feel like your mindset will change in the future.
Yeah, we always go back and forth.
I want 3.
If I get bored, it'll happen, Mikey.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I probably want to get married late 20s, have kids by early 30s.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's how everyone kind of thinks of it. I think the exact same way, you know, settle down like 30s, have kids. Like you want to be like a young dad. You don't want to be an old dad. You know, you want to be able to like throw the ball with your kid, you know.
I have a question though. What let's say you're in a relationship right now. You guys aren't ready for marriage because I'm not either. Because we don't have enough money to support that marriage and that family and everything. But what is it when you're dating someone? When is it okay to pay for them, and when is it okay not to pay for them?
Putting me on the spot right here. Love it. Anyways, so what do you mean pay for them? Like for a
take
date?
them out to maybe a date, or you guys go and they want something, and
so for my relationship, how we do it, we don't really kind of see money as like very as of an importance to us, right? Mm-hmm. We're not gonna be like if we go out to eat, like usually I'll pay. But what we usually try to do is like I pay one dinner and then she pays the other one, and then we vice versa. If she wants something, I'll get it for her. If I want something, she'll probably get it for me. Like we don't see it as like, you know, money being something that like we care about. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I paid you that, now you pay me this. Nah, we don't see that.
Like try to like match it. Like
we don't try to match it.
Have you guys ever talked about this? This is just natural.
No, I never talked about it. We just never like really had to talk about like money, finance like that. I mean, when we went to the Disney trip, we did talk about it.
So that's a good answer. So it's kind of even, but you guys just don't really think about it. You just think about it as like
at the end of the day, you're with that person for a reason. You're just not with them for like money. You do the stuff, you buy the stuff you do because you genuinely care for them and you want to spend money on them. It's not because like, oh, it's my turn. Oh no, it's your turn. Oh, you owe me $5. I paid you last time. It's not because of that. Like, it's money. Money comes and goes.
Memories stay forever.
Exactly. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Mikey? What do you think you were in a relationship?
No, I like Lucas's system, but I think like leading up to a relationship, the man should pay for a majority, if not all, of the dates before the relationship, and then after the relationship, then I guess the couple will just figure out a system.
Mm-hmm. Would you guys? I don't really have an answer for that, but I really don't.
Like from experience, like what did you do?
From experience, I covered a lot of the meals and she covered some. But for gifts, like she would buy me gifts and stuff like that. I would get her gifts. I don't really know. I mean, it all depends, like who invited who out, whose plan it was. Like if I invite her to dinner, I'll be like, this one's on me. I texted you. Or if we go play pickleball and we have to like pay for a court and like she asked me to play pickleball, she'll pay for the court, stuff like that. It was all like whose idea it really was, and who invited whose treat it is. Like that's really what it was. But would you guys end up? Let's say you guys get married. Would you guys share the money? Would you guys have a shared bank account or have your own?
Shared.
Yeah, I'd probably have a shared one. So
yeah,
I'd have a shared account. I'd have
his backup account.
Yeah, I'd have my
investment
own
account.
Account. I'd have a personal account.
A retirement account.
No retirement. I have a personal account for my gambling problems that I'll probably get when I'm older in the future. No, I think it'll be shared.
What about a prenup? I feel like that's a good question.
Would I sign a prenup?
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't, right? Because if you have a shared account.
Yeah.
What about you, Tanner?
I don't know, man. Like I haven't met I always say this. I haven't met a girl in my life that I trust 100%. Every single girl I've dated, every single girl I know I'm probably gonna get fucking like hated for this, but every girl I've dated, I haven't trusted 100%, and I haven't see myself marrying them. Like, I don't see myself trusting them with all my money, trusting them with my children. That's why I'm so hesitant to have children, share a bank account with someone, because my biggest fear is getting married to the wrong person. I think I've told you this before, maybe, but it's just such a big deal to me. And I like my parents, they share a bank account. I aspire to have a relationship like them where they're best friends. Anything they buy is each other's money. It's not like they're treating each other. I want that. Like I
Yeah,
want to.
that's how we think of. That's how I think of like the payments with her and I.
Yeah,
my
like
significant other.
it's you both your money.
Yeah,
But it's scary sharing that with your significant other.
it is. But sometimes it's just get that. You just got you have that feeling. You can't explain it. You just have that one feeling. It's like I got a feeling.
But I
Good
think we
song.
covered some good stuff this podcast. What's your biggest take of the podcast, guys?
All right, biggest take of the podcast. Actually, I'm gonna twist it. I want people who are watching this to think to themselves. What was the first question you said?
The your biggest lie you tell yourself.
Yes, I want you to think onto yourselves and ask yourself, what is the biggest lie you've told yourself, and keep it with you, and then see how you could make that lie into a truth.
That's good. Flip the script.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what we all did. I mean, the lies that. I mean, what was both the lies you guys tell yourself, and did you flip it into a truth?
we're working on flipping it into the truth.
Yeah.
Day in and day out. For me, I would go back to what I said to your first one. I would just say it's better to act like you don't have all the time in the world rather than to act like you do. I feel like you'll just get so much more done, and you'll be way more successful in the future if you act like you don't have that much time. It causes you to get stuff done faster.
I like that. My biggest take of the podcast, I'm really happy you guys both came on today. I think this was a good episode. It is don't compare yourself and don't compare your families to anybody else. Like, you got your own system going on. If you're still living at home, who cares? Like, don't compare yourself to anybody else, because you could have struggles and you could have positive things that are going on in your life that you're not looking at deep enough. So just look at your life and focus more on the positives rather than the negatives. All right. Good episode. I'll see you guys later.
See you guys.
See ya.